Does height matter? Earlier this year, I went for a wellness checkup where my height was measured. I walked into the room a handsome 155 centimeters, and I walked out of the room a disappointed 151 centimeters. Whoever measured my height the first time was 4 centimeters too generous. I decided to go into Google to check what 151 centimeters is in feet. And upon discovering what it was, I figured, who even cares? You know, you're busy. Google is busy, so please don't ask it. But that isn't the reason why I'm making this video. This specific video popped onto my For You page on TikTok. Before height surgery, at 171 centimeters, 5'7", I was called short. Today, I'm taller than an elevator. And then the caption of the video says, haters made me tall. Thanks, old school heart emoji. Hashtag leg lengthening. Hashtag height surgery. Hashtag height problems. Hashtag short people problems. For my short people problems, I just got myself this stepping stool, but that's just me. The question is, how tall is he now, right? Let's have a look. 171.5 centimeters to 195 centimeters. 6'3". To be honest with you, those are just numbers to me. I know it's tall. I know 6'3" is tall, but I can't really imagine how much neck strain I would have speaking to this guy. So the procedure that this guy got is called limb lengthening surgery. And here's a video of someone else who got it explaining how it works.
So basically what they did is, it was pretty crazy actually, even to think about it. But what they did is they cut the bone in half, like horizontally, like internally. So everything's internal. They cut the bone in half, they slide a rod in through my hip, and it connects from my hip to my knee, and then they lock it in place with screws. And then there's another device that goes through my leg that's on the outside. So that device on the outside of my leg connects to the device on the inside of my leg. And basically what happens is you turn a key on the device on the outside of your leg, and it separates the bone inside your, like it causes the rod to stretch out in your leg, separating the bone further and further apart.
One of the many drives as to why people decide to get this surgery is because they want the perceived privileges that come with being tall. You know, like 0 leg room, people always assuming you play basketball, and you guessed it, attention from women. I wanted to hop onto the World Wide Web and look at some of the content on there that has to do with height and see if height really matters.
How tall are you?
5'4".
All right, what's the minimum height that you would date in a guy?
5'11".
Probably like 5'11".
6'1". 6'2".
Dating a guy?
Like 6 foot.
Minimum height that you would date?
5'5". Cause one time I dated this dude and he was literally my height. It was so embarrassing.
Okay.
I would never do that again.
Minimum height you would date?
Definitely 6 foot, because just like you have to look up. As a man, you're supposed to be taller.
What's like an ideal height for a guy for you?
Like 6 foot.
5'10"
Yeah.
and above.
I can deal with someone who's just about taller than me. That's fine, but like nothing less.
Those are just 2 videos. That's not all the videos about height on the internet, but I can see why you may or may not find Turkey on my bucket list. I read this article titled, "The Shorter Man's Search for Love. One woman cried when I told her how tall I am." Spoiler alert, they were not tears of joy, as surprising as that may be. In the article, it talks about an announcement that Tinder made about adding a height filter type thing to the app. And in response to this, 51% of men feel that if users can filter by height, they should also be able to filter by weight. It kind of reminds me of one of those moments, you know, when you're a kid and your sibling says something that hurts your feelings and you're just like scanning them and thinking about their past and thinking about anything they've ever said or done and just trying to look at how you can pierce right into their heart with the harshest comeback ever. That's what it feels like, right? But it's like the adult version where it's like, oh, you're using these beauty standards against me. Okay, cool. How can I make you feel bad about yourself? I'll use these beauty standards against you. Those are the vibes I'm getting. I'm not saying that's what's happening. Those are just the vibes. That's what the vibes are saying. Long before the Tinder announcement, this weight counter argument, if you could call it that, has been making its rounds on the streets in the form of street interviews.
Hey, do you guys think that height matters in a guy?
It depends. It's ideal, but like it's not.
So no, it doesn't matter. What about you? Yo, chill. Does height matter?
Yeah.
It does? All right, well, weight matters, so step on the scale. 160.
That's a lie.
Where do you put it all? No, bro, why does every girl do this? You're 160. You don't have the right to be twerking.
Yes, I am.
All right, well, then go twerk in the gym. Planet Fitness is $10 an hour.
I have Planet Fitness. How'd you know?
You go to Planet Fitness?
Yeah.
It's $10.
No, it's 15.
Well, go twerk there because you got some weight to lose.
I do twerk at Planet Fitness.
All right, good. Get that cardio in.
I've stopped you in the middle of the street with this rigged scale because I want you to give a short guy a chance. You know, pay attention to his heart and his mind and don't just judge him based on his physical appearance. Also, after this interview, please go to the gym and do something about the number that popped up on this rigged scale. Enough about street interviews. Let's have a look at other content and products that are aimed at fixing the apparent problem with being less than 6 foot. So we've got tutorials, right? Stretching tutorials like this one. From what I know, stretching isn't going to impact your height by that much, except for, you know, helping with your posture. But as someone who tends to be slouched over my phone way more than I should, I am more than ready to channel my inner yogi if it promises me that I'll be able to get back those 4 centimeters that were stolen from me during my wellness checkup. Then we've got tutorials like these.
You can literally force your bones to grow and get taller at any age, even after puberty. But Levin, that is not true. Otherwise, everyone would be 6 feet. And yes, you are right. If everyone would know about this, there wouldn't be any people under 6 feet. Don't believe me? Look at the Maasai tribe from Kenya, Africa. The average male height in the Maasai village is 6 feet 3. They are able to grow to such heights using the scientific phenomenon called Wolff's Law. This states that bone in a healthy animal will adapt to the loads under which it is placed. First, I will show you a video of the Maasai doing the jump. Watching the Maasai jump, you will immediately notice the incredible body and jumping height of the Maasai. Repeatedly practicing this vertical jump for 10-15 minutes every day will create microfractures in the shin. Once this happens, Wolff's Law comes into play. Now that you have created these microfractures, your bones will start to regrow bigger. But if you now rest in a standing or normal sitting position, they will become wider, not longer. But since we want them to grow more vertically, sit at the side of your bed or somewhere high enough for your legs to hang down. Now add ankle weights and stay in this position for 45 to 60.
I couldn't actually find any articles that said, by the way, vertical jumping does not make you taller, because I assume healthcare professionals are busy with other more important things. But if the available research that suggests that height is primarily determined by genetics is to be believed, I think I'm going to choose to believe that as opposed to jumping onto rich cultural practices all in the name of looks maxing. Which brings us to the one and only looks maxing. As you can see, things are different now. And things are different because a video that I initially wanted to show you is no longer on TikTok. I have learned my lesson the hard way. Just save the video from, not even save, download the video from the get-go. And so I'm going to summarize this looks maxing part with this. My understanding of what seems to be a general philosophy about height in looks maxing is that you can't change your height. If you're short, you're short, you know, but you can't be short and other things that are undesirable by society. That is unacceptable. You can only be short or any other thing that you cannot control. As you can tell from the sentiment expressed in this video.
How tall are you, bro?
I'm 5'7", 5'8", man.
How is it dating women as a 5'7" guy?
I don't see any difference. As a matter of fact, I didn't realize that height was so important to people until I started making videos on the internet. Because all my life, I've always focused on being well-rounded, being handsome, being fit. But the incels on the internet try to make things that they can't control as their biggest problem. For some reason, it seems like women seem to overlook my height, but it's so important to these guys. And I argue it's because they don't have much else going on.
So do you get more girls than taller guys?
I don't think our heights play that big of a role. Now, I would say being a taller guy, you're gonna get noticed faster. But if you're tall and you're fat or you have no social skills, I don't think that's gonna give you any much of an advantage. I'm taller than Kevin Hart. I don't think I can get any girl that Kevin Hart can get. Now, I would say this. If you're short, fat, broke, ugly, can't talk to girls, pick where you wanna suffer at.
What I thought was interesting when I was looking for videos about height on the internet was I stumbled across these types of videos. I guess it's looks maxing, advice giving vibes on live streams. And even though the general sentiment around height is that you can't control it, it still sounds like it matters to some degree, because in all of these clips that I've seen, the question about what the person's height is always comes up.
So your body looks nice, decent. How tall are you?
5'5".
I mean, you're doing something right. How tall are you?
I'm 6'4".
6'4"?
If height is something that you can't change and that you shouldn't worry about, I'm not sure what the value is of asking about height.
How tall are you?
5'7".
All right. What the hell did you just gasp for, bro? Here we go. What did you just gasp for? What did you just gasp for?
You're right. I shouldn't be. That's already showing insecurity about my height.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm 5'7". You motherfuckers make you make your own insecurities bigger than what they are. You already putting yourself in a horrible mind frame that I'm less than because of my fucking height. It's something you can't control. And 5'7", you're still taller than most women. Shut the fuck up. I don't hear nothing about your damn height.
When I initially watched these videos, I started to feel like it almost was a way of measuring how much harder you probably need to be working on all those other areas.
Let's see the physique, bro.
Here.
Okay. How tall are you?
3-ish. I'm ending on a bulk right now, so I need.
Hold up. Slow down. You said you're 5'3"?
Yeah, around there.
Okay. If you're 5'3", bro, I don't want you to ever go on a bulk in your life.
Okay.
You can't be super short and a bowling ball.
But again, the initial video I wanted to show you, I can't. It summed that up really well. Anyway, let's move to the next part. Let's have a look at some of the products that are out there, tailored or marketed towards the short peeps on the planet. I wanted to start with platform shoes. Those shoes that have like a very thick ass heel. The thing about these shoes is, I get it, right? Being short can be a bummer sometimes. It can suck because tall people are too good to bend over and check the weather down here for themselves. But I don't want the world to know that I am frustrated by that because of the shoes that I'm choosing to wear. Within the short man shoe world, there's this brand called Lucy Mora, which, started to pop up on my For You page once I went down this height rabbit hole.
Too short for her? Don't worry, we got you. Lucimora's elevator shoes give you up to 9 centimeters of discreet lift. No clunky soles, no uncomfortable insoles. Just clean, sharp design that adds height and style in one go. Lightweight, breathable, and built for all-day comfort. Perfect for first dates, nightclubs, and flexing at the gym. Nobody sees the boost, but everyone sees the difference.
She couldn't even see him before that Lucimora. A product that doesn't only aid with increasing height, but also aids with vision. That's high techie.
Is this little guy your boyfriend?
Of course not. He's just a friend.
Don't ever let anyone disrespect you like that. Try Lucimora and earn their respect.
Okay, so firstly, that taller AI dude was unnecessarily rude to that shorter AI dude. And also, do you want to earn the respect of some random ass dude who was mean to you, a friend who ditched you for that mean guy, and then left you with one dress shoe on a bar countertop? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, are those the people you really want to be friends with? It's just a question. After scouring the internet and allowing my algorithm to be filled to the brim with height content, suggesting platform shoes and tutorials on how to grow taller, and so many street interviews where it's just very greatly expressed that needing a little assistance, just a little assistance to reach a top shelf just ain't that cute. It's easy to get the idea that, you know, most of the content online is geared towards either fixing this problem with being short or the expression that it is kind of a problem, right? But there is content online that is about, I guess you could say, celebrating it, or at the very least showing people that it isn't a big deal to everyone, right? And that you shouldn't maybe worry about it that much, or as much as, you know, some people do worry about it. What triggered me to make this video was seeing a lot of guys on my For You page who got this limb lengthening surgery, and seeing how common it is, right? And that there are people who feel so strongly about wanting to be taller that they would get the necessary funds required and also go through the recovery process that, you know, comes with doing the surgery. I also want to make it clear that I have no hate towards these people. This isn't criticism of them either. It is their bodies, and so they should be able to do whatever they want with their bodies. I think a lot of the hate that these guys get in the comment sections of these videos is because, I guess, insecurities are supposed to be hidden for some reason. I guess wanting to change an aspect of ourselves reveals a weakness or admits that there is something about our physical appearance that bothers us. And the greater the financial load or the greater the pain that you have to endure in order to make that change, it's almost as if it's a greater embarrassment that you have that specific insecurity. I know that encouraging people to, you know, dial it down on the hate comments is a waste of everyone's time. But it is kind of weird to see people continue to do the thing that is partly the reason for the person doing the thing that people are clowning that person for doing. Do you get what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. So, does height matter? Yes, to some people, and no to other people. That was the obvious answer. Like, there's too many people on the planet for it to matter to everyone. You know what I'm saying? And if you have no intention of doing anything about it, if you are short, then it shouldn't matter to you either. I think it's as simple as that. Anyway, I thought it would be fun to just look at what the internet has going on as far as height is concerned. I learned lots of things. There were like a lot of things that I didn't actually get into in this video because there's so many, like little like rabbit holes to go down. And I think perhaps some of those rabbit holes will be more relevant in a video about, I guess, looks maxing or other things like that. So let's see if we get into those in those videos. Anyway, thank you very much for watching the video. And yeah, until the next one, peace out.